You're a bit of a t-shirt man, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit of a t-shirt man. I like t-shirts, the cover things. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Bare-chested on stage is just so old-fashioned, isn't it? Now then, I hate to tell people this, but you're an estate agent.
I am an estate agent.
So at school, the careers department, you said, "Oh, I'm the least popular kid in the school."
Yeah.
Any ideas?
You're horrible, you are. No, my careers officer said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I really like art." So they sent me to a photocopiers for work experience. Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
And do you do photocopying in your estate agents now?
We have got a photocopier. I'm very well versed in the usage of the photocopier.
You've done siding.
I can change ink cartridges just brilliantly. Really fast.
Excellent. So what else could you possibly aspire to? Really?
Exactly, yeah, plain and useful.
Now you were in retail before that, at Hamleys, I gather.
I used to work for Hamleys Radio
Okay.
for a little bit. I used to advertise some of their toys and things. So if you went in there, you could hear me on the tannoy trying to convince small children that a dead hamster in a plastic ball that remotely walks around was a good idea.
We've all had one of those.
Yeah, who hasn't? Yeah. Mine was real.
Yeah. Mine wasn't. It had been in the ball for about a week.
Yes.
Yes. And podcasting. You did a bit of podcasting.
Yeah, done some movie podcasts and sort of tried a bit of comedy via podcasting. But yeah.
Okay. Where would we find your podcast if the ladies and gentlemen here?
I've guested most recently on a podcast called The Black Box, which is kind of social media podcast.
That's lost in Malaysia somewhere, isn't it?
Oh, look, that's recent, isn't it? Look, planes and death. That's fun.
Unfortunate.
Really sad. Really sad. Yeah. Too tsunami. So.
Now, the other interesting thing about you is there are only two things. The other interesting thing. Okay, all right. You also run a wrestling gig. This is true.
I do. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is that a segue?
That was a bit of a lead-in.
Yeah.
Say something about it.
I co-promote a wrestling promotion with this enormous man over here.
Oh right.
Don't
mess with him, do we?
Yeah, we've been running it for about 3 years now in Wellington, and it's kind of.
At the public hall in
Wellington. The public hall in Wellington,
where my office is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You should pop down.
I would like to. In fact, I did actually say.
We talked about mankinis for about 5 minutes.
We did. Yeah, we did. Do you wear a mankini? I can see you in a mankini. Just in my dreams. But he did say. Matt did say you must come down. I said, when's the next gig? He said it's on the 11th of May. And I said, blimey, that's the day for my birthday. Everyone make a note. And he said, you must come down because we do a special ring entry. That's a bit special, really. I don't want to do that. It's a bit like, I did have a prostate examination recently. It was one of those dreadful moments. I was in a little room with the man, he put the glove on. And he said,
I know how it works.
Bend over the table. 10 minutes later, we'd finished, took the glove off, went out of the room, and the nurse came in and uttered those 5 dreadful words.
Bit of rodding.
She said, who the fuck was that? It's an excuse to use that.
Was it John? John Wood. John Wood does rodding.
Does he? He does.
Come on, it's a compliment.
Very good. I like stuff. So, what's your mate's name then?
That's Steve. That's Steve Evans.
Steve. And do you wrestle, Steve? I don't mean do you wrestle, Steve. That'd be ridiculous.
If I could wrestle myself, I have been known to jump in the ring and throw some people around before.
Okay. What's your wrestling name?
Heavy D.
Heavy D. Interesting. Where's that come from then?
Long story.
Okay.
How long ago?
It's not actually your initial, is it? So that's okay. You're not going to tell us, are you?
No.
Do you wear sort of funny clothing when you're in the ring?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That's what I'd like to hear. I have actually found a picture of you because he's an estate agent and he does wrestling, and I've actually found a picture of him doing that's the other Matt Burden, because Matt Burden does these sort of specialist things on YouTube.
Did you watch any of these?
I have. I've tried.
It's like paranormal activity. It's really disturbing.
He's very odd. Yeah. He's a very odd child.
He is.
He's only about 10, isn't he, or something?
He's 10. He lives in his mum's basement. Most of the videos are shot like this. There's not a lot of movement or activity. He just looks at the camera and he lip syncs to Beyonce.
He lives in his mum's basement.
I think so, yeah.
So unlike those women that are front free, they sort of think, oh, we found this kid in the back. Oh no, fucking leave him. No, I have actually found a picture of Matt combining both his careers, which I think is rather interesting. It's here. There you go.
That's great.
You don't see that very often, do you? Really? To be fair. Now then, I think we better let him do his shtick. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah,
You ready to go? Okay. Big
He's
round of
got
applause.
it. Thank you very much. Okay, right. Well, that was like first 60 seconds of my set, really, so I'm a bit lost. Why is it that when, as a chap, you change the Hoover bag at home, you have to tell someone about it? I don't know, I think it's because it's a covert good deed. You have to get credit for it. So if you change the Hoover bag, you have to pop next door and just let you know I changed the Hoover bag. Actually changed the Hoover bag. So, what is it, a public service announcement? You know? You're unhappy with the sucking power of the shiny Henry bin that you've pimped your Henry, essentially, thus making it ride with the power of a chariot, you know. Just change the Hoover bag, it might take your foot off. Just to let you know, it's now performing with the power of the wind that whisked Dorothy from Kansas to the land of Oz. You've just changed the Hoover bag, that's all. My plan now is to just put a bell on it, I think. Just clang, 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 clang. And in the other room, he's changed the Hoover bag. Alright, there you go. Fantastic. But no, it's an empowering moment, isn't it? You make that, it's an adult decision. I was unhappy with the quality of the sucking power of Henry, and I have now changed the Hoover bag, and it's fantastic. A depowering moment, getting a onesie for Christmas. Getting a onesie for Christmas, as a 35-year-old chap, starts off as a bit of a laugh, and then you kind of get into it. You know, it's just a giant baby grow, essentially, with a picture of Rudolph on the front and a couple of snowflakes. But you kind of get into it. The thing is, you're all happy until you get to the bathroom. Then you get to the bathroom, and you stood there like this. And we love trousers. Trousers are fantastic because the zip is in and around the area where the wee-wee comes out. But onesies, the zips are massive, but they stop just above the navel. They just kind of stop there, and you think, I'm not going to disrobe because why would it take my top off to have a piss? It's like you're trying to have a piss in a flight suit, basically, you know? And you don't look as sexy as an F1 driver, and you don't look like Maverick from Top Gun. You're just wearing a fucking baby grow, staring at the toilet. So what you do is you kind of undo the zip, and you go, I can get hold of this is alright. But what you have to do is you have to reach down, and just kind of grab your stuff, and just... and you just have to flim it. You have to flim it, but what happens is it kind of catches. And the thing is, you have to go full twig and also berries. You can't because the angle doesn't work if you just go twig. So you complete that, and then it's kind of in this zip hell-like vice, unfortunately. But you think, I can get hold of this. This is all right. But what happens is, of course, unfortunately, gravity being such, it cinches down on your shoulders, and then you convince yourself that if you go up on your tiptoes, this will alleviate pressure, but everything's going red. So, and then what you do is you go, hang on a minute, I'll go off the shoulder. I'll just go off the shoulder, and that will help. And then you catch yourself in the mirror, and you kind of look like a geriatric tortoise having a shit. And then you just decide to peel down, so you peel down. But what do you do with the sleeves? They either drag on the floor and you go, oh no, there might be a piss there. Or the tumbleweed of pubes that is down there can't possibly touch my sleeves. And then if you whip it round the front, you have danger of splashage. So what you do, you just resign to the fact you're just going to whip the whole thing down, and then you're naked from the shin up, and you're fucking cold. I only wanted a piss, now I'm having a wee like a lady, just like that, surrounded by a material flight suit nest. It's a depowering moment. You know what I'm talking about, Steve? Oh, terrible. I don't do well with people at the door. I don't know why. It's a socially awkward thing for me. I don't, take deliveries. We order things from Amazon all the time, and then I always forget that someone has to bring it to you, and you have to deal with that person. And it's like, do you know what I ordered? I ordered My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Volume 1, and I'm a little bit embarrassed about that. You might know, don't tell anyone. So I don't get that, and I get everything addressed to my place of work, so the wife doesn't know what I buy. Just saying, it's a bit of a tip there. So somebody will come into the office with a box with a delivery, and then a digital pad in the other hand, and they'll walk in, and they'll go, Matt Burden, and I'll go, yes, and then I forget. I watched Terminator when I was a kid. That didn't end well. Sarah Connor, yes! And You know, check. Are you an assassin? There's a list of questions. What's in the box? You can ask what's in the box. You can ask. My tip would be, are you a robot from the future sent to kill me? I think they're programmed to say no if he was a robot from the future sent to kill you. Yes. Just say, look, not Matt Burton, I think he works next door. And then watch the news with keen interest next day. See what happens. But we order takeaways all the time. And that brings people to your door. Just Eat, that's a fantastic website, isn't it? It's brilliant. You feel guilty enough about ordering a takeaway, and then the next day they send you an email that simply says, thanks for not cooking, thanks for being shit, lazy and unskilled, gluttony is good, let's do more of this. And they tempt you in, they give you like a percentage off. And then what usually happens is, in our house anyway, if you order a takeaway, it usually means that we're having a nice night in, just you and the other half. You're usually watching a girly film, because when you order a takeaway, all other films are unavailable. I don't know why. I just want to watch Die Hard, just really want to watch Die Hard. But I can't. I've got to watch Twilight. Sorry, right, so you order your takeaway, and then usually the takeaway's due about 10-20 minutes into the film, and what happens is you suddenly become this takeaway sensing meerkat sat on the sofa like this, and you lose all confidence you have in the delivery driver that he knows how to use a fucking doorbell. So what you do is you sit there, and then if a car or a motorbike passes your house or flat, you go, shut up, shut, and you pause the film, thus shaving seconds off your Chinese getting cold. And then you walk to the door, and usually you look through the thing, like that, and you go, no, it's nothing. Robert Pattinson's on pause. And there you go. Why do we do that? Why do we try and beat the delivery driver to the door before the doorbell goes? I never understand that. Like, you only go, surprise! I knew it would be you. Yeah, you ordered the food, Governor. So then the takeaway arrives. Have you ever done this? You ever ordered Chinese food? You open the door and there's an Indian bloke with 2 carry bags. And you kind of, for at least 2 seconds, you go, oh, did I... I really fancy China. Oh shit, sorry. And then you feel a little bit racist. You just feel it's just a geezer doing the job. A little bit racist. But Tesco delivery drivers are my most socially awkward group of people. Tesco delivery, you always see it as a good idea. You book your slot on a Sunday morning between 10 and 12 and you go, I'm really going to remember, I'm definitely going to remember this, we really need shopping. And then the truck pulls up outside the house, and again, if someone else, usually my wife, is at the front of our house, she goes, Tesco's is here! Delivery's here! Prepare the area! Tesco's is here! Did you know Tesco's was here? I didn't fucking know, he knows how to use the fucking... How much preparation does a Tesco? I don't know. I have no idea. I wish there was a button in the middle of the keypad that you push and it just says BAMF and it just transports all of your shopping perfectly organised into the freezer. But it doesn't, unfortunately. You have to deal with the geezer at the door. So again, you open the door. Surprise! I saw your truck. It was a giveaway. That word. And there he is, stood there with his trolley and 5 green trays, and he thrusts a piece of paper into your hand as if he's a bailiff of some kind. And on the piece of paper it simply says, 2 substitutions, no croissants. Never any croissants. We never moan about it though, because we want it to be over. And the substitutions could be anything. It could be, we're out of stock of boiler voulée, have substituted for utterly butterly. It doesn't matter, because you just want the process over. So what you do is you start to grab, you all right fella? Yeah. Grab the bags and you just whisk them into the hallway with disregard of wine or eggs. It doesn't matter, because you just want it over. And the reason for it is the geezer stood there like this. Because he's ashamed. He knows what you're going to eat for that week. He even knows your wife's menstrual cycle. You just want it over. It's embarrassing. It's second-hand shopping. It's the equivalent of walking into Tesco's and picking up a random stranger's Tesco shopping, hoping they have the same wants, needs and tastes as you, and fucking off! And then you get to the final transaction, of course, and that's the digital keypad. The holy grail of every Tesco delivery driver's job, because it means it's over. and he hands you either a very shiny new keypad with a bit of string and a stylus, or an old and busted one with the key to his van. To sign your life away. What would happen if you bypassed him in the doorway and just got in his van and fucked off? Would you be forced to do the rest of his round? I have no idea. But you've effectively got a digital drawing device on your person at that point. You know, could you draw anything? Could you write anything? Could you just write Mickey Mouse? Would the world explode? With Tesco's head office? No, I have no idea. But you could draw, you could totally draw. So, as I have done before, if I asked a pub full of blokes, what's the one thing you would dare me to draw? And a Tesco delivery driver's pad, the answer would be... Cock and balls, yes! Thank you very much to this very dirty-minded boy in the front row. Yes, a perfectly rendered school bathroom pendulous set of gonads and a phallus with a little teardrop just at the end there for artistic effect. He doesn't know what you're drawing, you just hand it back to him, wait for the penny to drop. Have I deeply offended him? Or have I made his day by whisking his mind back to a sweeter time? Of course, the biggest fear is, where does that information go? Where does it go? I would hope it gets whisked to the back cave back at Tesco Delivery headquarters, and there's a massive video wall back there, and then every time I subsequently order, a picture of my house appears, bing! A picture of my face appears, bing! And a representation of my signature. So in this case, my house, my face, enormous cock and balls! Forever tied to the house of burden. Of course, my favourite thing to sketch on a Tesco delivery driver's pad would simply be a noughts and crosses board, put a circle in the middle and go, go! Ladies and gentlemen, I've been back third and you've been amazing. Thank you very much. What about that?